The Government Accountability Office, GAO, has identified approximately $500 billion in fraudulent payments across federal programs, including Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, according to Congressman Brandon Gill. He stated, "These aren't payments going to people who deserve them. This is outright fraud." The report also highlights an additional $161 billion in improper payments last year, raising concerns about waste and government oversight.
Well, I can tell you what the nonpartisan GAO has identified, and we had a hearing on this earlier today. They've identified what they believe to be about $500 billion just in fraudulent payments across the federal government. That's Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. This is not payments that are legitimately going to people who deserve it and actually should be getting this money. This is fraud. They've identified on top of that $161 billion just last year in what they believe to be improper payments. So there's an enormous amount of waste, fraud, and abuse in our federal government. That's why the DOGE work that they're doing is so important. For decades, Congress has been trying to figure out what's going on at the executive branch where they're spending and doling out all of this money. And finally, we're getting some answers. And I think that the American people are shocked by it. And, I think in the coming months, you're going to see some action from Congress to get rid of this as well.
During a congressional hearing, Gill emphasized the scale of the problem, calling for immediate reforms. For decades, Congress has been demanding answers on federal spending. Now we know the truth, and it's worse than we imagined, he said. Lawmakers are now pushing for stricter fraud detection measures and greater accountability in government spending. The GAO report estimates that improper payments totaled $236 billion in 2023, with fraud estimates ranging between $233 billion and $521 billion annually. Critics argue that bureaucratic inefficiencies and lax oversight have contributed to the staggering figures. Senator Mike Braun and other lawmakers have called for a comprehensive audit of Medicare to address fraud schemes, including international scams and phishing attacks.